Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial. And today my guest is Krasi Atasio, who will lead us through the month of January. We're a bit late, but December was a very busy month. And Krasi will show us how sidereally the actual constellations, this is sidereal astrology, ancient Babylonian, ancient Indian sidereal astrology, how the actual constellations, where the planets are moving, what can we expect from January 2024? And she'll cover the 12 signs. Hello, Krasi.
Hello, Wada. Hello, everyone. Yes, hello. We will look at the 12 ascendants, some brief, maybe overview of the most important events of January. The events that did not happen yet, because today's 8th of January. So we have 22 days still to discuss some of the events which did not happen. One very important, towards the end of the month, we expect this increased solar activity. It is expected to take place end of January, beginning of February. It is not sure when exactly. In two previous videos, we described with you that this solar activity is linked to very extreme mundane world events. Now, January will be quite, how to say, maybe relaxed, not such intense month. Even interesting, the astronomers also announced that we'll have this parade of planets, which starts already with, they announced, Mars, Venus, Mercury, but interestingly, Mars is not visible. I don't know why the observatories of astronomers announced already also Mars. Anyway, they start so, and towards end of January, Saturn is joining the parade, which is meaning that beautifully we will see them, the planets in a row. From the east, south horizon, we'll be able to see at night.
At night.
At night. This parade is considered harmonious. It will bring joy and harmony. Now, more interesting. On the second, approximately, it's always approximate, especially when it comes to Mercury. You see Mercury became visible, and I was thinking, what would Mercury bring in? Look what he brought. So Mercury became visible as a morning star, more like the energy of Apollo, like very enlightenment information energy. And he became visible, and he will be visible approximately until 21st, 22nd of January. And he became visible in Scorpio in the vicinity of Shaula. The dirt, the secrets coming out. And see what came out?
Oh, the lists.
The
The
list.
list of the,
I was thinking,
oh, yeah.
let's see what for information will come out. I was just waiting, and see dirt. He really takes
The
from.
constellation of the Scorpio, the dirt. Yeah, I mean, like all the toxic secrets in the tropical sign of Sagittarius, truth. And Apollo is in the phase of, Mercury is in the phase of Apollo, which is the star of truth and
Yes,
shining
coming
along.
into light, giving light upon
Oh my
something.
God.
Yeah, and I was thinking, and this is significant, Wada. This is very, very, very significant event.
Yeah.
So you see, we give the most kind of evident example, but when people look in their lives, how many things will come into life, maybe interesting information, knowledge, or you will find information that you've been searching for, many interesting things. And this is not a very short cycle of Mercury. It's almost 20 days still
Because
to.
Mercury is very rarely visible. Let's say this to people. And very few people are born with Mercury visible. Actually, funny enough, we did the course with Rumen on this, and almost all on the course got Mercury visible. We're like, what? That's very rare. And currently, Mercury is visible. That's very amazing for anything mercurial. Can you give us an example what people can do till almost till the end
Yes,
of the month?
exactly. When we consider the fact that Mercury became visible in the last degrees of Scorpio, yes, through his cycle of the next 20 days, less than 20 already, but he will be in Sagittarius, but the beginning of his cycle is more significant and is describing his nature, the nature of the cycle, so to say. So Scorpio is a sign not only about the secrecy and dirt which comes out as we see, but in Scorpio we have hermetic degrees of amazing hermetism, real knowledge, ancient knowledge. Scorpio is healing. Scorpio is the poison of homeopathy. Scorpio is very good about healing. So people who need healing, and let's say this is taking place on their ascendant, have very good chance to get the true way to heal themselves, let's say, or amazing knowledge. Scorpio, Taurus axis is money. They can come up with financial healing. Oops, what?
Yes, yes.
Ah, sorry, no, I heard myself twice. I thought something is happening with my
Oh,
voice.
yes, yeah, sorry.
No problem. So Scorpio, it's all about knowledge. It is all about healing. Homeopathy is linked to the energy of Scorpio. Money, financial truth, financial ways of making money. Of course, depends where this is taking place, and this will be very
taxes. That might be very, because Mercury is mathematical and planning and organization. Scorpio is your finances and taxes. So
oh, yes, it's also astrology. Mercury is ruling astrology. So it will be a lot about knowledge, truth coming out, knowledge that we are searching for can suddenly surprise us, truth, information. Also, when it comes to new beginnings, well, you can use this particular phase of Mercury for media work, teaching, studying. Let's say you are a little bit stuck in certain study that you don't like. This also could be very helpful, and keep in mind it is not, it continues for another already 2.5 weeks, so you can really benefit from this very, very, very well. And when Mercury became visible, this happened when also Venus was in Scorpio. I know people who say Venus is fallen in Scorpio. Yes, she does not exhibit her own blessing and power, but still she helped, because when they're together, Mercury and Venus, this is forming very beautiful, artistic, blessed energy. So I believe this helped also for good truth to come out, and so on and so on. So this is mainly about Mercury. The solar cycle is not yet to be seen, but slowly towards the end of January, I think the year will intensify a little bit, February, March, with the eclipses, but this is subject for another conversation. And I think we mentioned this many times.
So you said this will be like the height of the solar activity in how many years?
11. These are cycles which reoccur once in 11 years, and they're usually related to extreme events financially. Unfortunately, the peace will not, it has to do with wars, and or at least with disharmonious events related to, warlike activities, of course. Well, we spoke about this with you. I'll remind to people, the Master Being Saduno said, yes, this will increase warlike events, financial disharmonious events, like true collapses of the markets. But the good is that we will have good fertility of the land, of the agriculture, and many new souls will descend.
Oh, more
big fertility, human fertility, and also fertility of the land. It's somehow balanced between maybe what will take place and what, some sort of.
Does the masters say if solar flares, we call it solar flares, isn't it? Because he said to his teachers, always watch the solar cycle. If you see these sunspots, as they call it, something important is happening. Does it correspond also with the sun sending waves of raising of consciousness on the spiritual level? That's a high vibrational.
Oh, should be. This is why he says new souls are descending, most probably of higher vibration. Everything has a reason. And 11 years, every 11 years, this is happening again and again. So certainly, I believe what you say is so. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
Because I know that the sun gives the spiritual impulse of growth for the whole earth and humanity. So this stronger activity must be stronger spiritual impulse than normal. And that's what also, but on the material level, it's experienced like chaos.
Yes, but also, you know what I think when we say solar, activity, and I immediately think of how they try to shadow the sun, because they know eventually this increased solar activity might be coming to bring some good awakening, another wave of awakening, spiritual energy.
Well, that's Master Vince Suduno also said that there's no stopping it. This wave,
No.
this fire coming from the sun is gonna burn the old culture, the whole old civilization. They're trying, they're spraying, they're dimming, but yeah,
That's fine.
they're always conniving, making stuff. But of course,
Yeah, that's why there is this other saying: you cannot like you can never dim the truth and the sun
yeah.
and the light. It's the same. They may try as much as they want, but nobody can dim the truth and the sun.
Slow down, yeah, of course, but yeah.
Yes, this will intensify, of course, everything which will happen in 2024, but let's not maybe go again into 2024 as we did so much already. So yes, we can enjoy this appearance of Mercury, which will appear, and Venus will be next to him.
Hasn't it appeared already?
Yeah, he appeared, but he will still be visible. He appeared, I think, on the 2nd, but he'll be visible until 21st, 22nd of January. And we can use this exactly for media work, for studying, and to observe what is happening in our lives, like which is the truth that we've been waiting for, and which appeared with
Some
Mercury.
epiphany, some deep realizations, something clicking in your mind. That's how I understand it from what you're saying. It's like, wow, it makes sense. I understand it now. This shift of perspective and clarity of vision in some way.
Very, and yes, we can. When can we be seeing Mercury? Actually, Mercury, because he is a morning star, very early before the sun rises, and very shortly. I remember when I was observing Mercury, like you see him and boom, and he's gone. Really, very, very short is the moment when we'll be able to see
The
Mercury.
messenger of the gods is always fast
Yes.
between two worlds.
Yes, yeah, very, very true. Saying this, let's look at Mercury. At the 12 ascendants, the rest remains the same. Saturn is, of course, in Aquarius direct. Jupiter is in Aries sidereal with Uranus, and this is also interesting in terms of financial opportunities. Uranus, Jupiter sextiled by Saturn and sextiled by Sun, invisible Mars, and Mercury. I believe this is very interesting financially. You see this double sextile, especially with people who are very innovative in their financial approach. This can be very, very good. Also, in terms of knowledge, and when it comes to this, let's see already Aries. And once again,
just to say, so starting for the 12 signs, just to say, is your promotion for the year 2024 still valid if people want a personal reading with you?
it is valid on your website. It's valid. Yes, people can benefit.
So a really big discount for reading with Krasi, Babylonian, ancient sidereal zodiac. She's going to look at for your birth chart for the year ahead 2024. So I'm putting a link below in the description for anyone who is interested.
Yes, thank you, Wada. Yes. So we start already looking from these two perspectives. So the perspective of the ancient Babylonian astrology for people who have sidereal ascendant Aries or moon in Aries, or if you're looking from the perspective of the modern astrology, this would be Taurus. For you, interestingly, this B sextile, the double sextile that I just mentioned about, will be valid for January. Very good for knowledge, for studies, for even can be a chance for new projects, financial opportunities. So this could be very good for you, actually. Especially, I mentioned the first appearance of Mercury in your 12th house, but he proceeds through Sagittarius until 21st, 22nd of January, he will be on your ninth house to support knowledge, studies, travel, long distance relationships. Very good. Also can support your finances. I believe for people with Sidereal Ascendant Aries, this is quite benevolent. In addition, Saturn is on your 11th house. If you have well placed Saturn, he can be very benevolent. Otherwise, he certainly wouldn't be harmful from your 11th house, because 11th house in the ancient astrology is the house of the good spirit. So it has benevolent nature. 6th house, Jupiter on your ascendant. Jupiter brings quite protection, blessing. So remain moral, remain very, spiritual. Yes, and I believe January will be quite fruitful and benevolent for you. And now we'll be looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Gemini. Now, Venus, who rules you, is in a fallen position. This is not actually very bad, because she still she still sends energy to your ascendant from your 7th house. This is a bit, can bring blessing on your relationships, but also emotional disharmony to a degree. So you may need to be quite spiritual, wise, balanced. Also because in the meantime, Saturn still, and this is valid for next year, 2025, Saturn is on your 10th house. Depending on how Saturn is positioned in your horoscope, this will be the energy that you will experience, but most probably you will be going through big changes of your career place, in your career place, modifications there, and all the time Saturn will be squaring your 7th house. So Venus now brings blessing, but still you may need to remain loving, diplomatic, less, a little bit careful. Jupiter supports your health from your 12th house, can help you win over enemies. So yes, this is a bit to watch out for. Yes, Venus is giving you support, but if you feel emotional discomfort, make sure that you're very, very spiritual, very wise, very patient, very diplomatic, and certainly apply your intuition on just everything. The first appearance of Mercury also took place on your 7th house to give importance on relationships, agreements. So there, place your attention there and be a little bit more diplomatic for sure. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Cancer. Now, for you, Mercury is your ascendant ruler, and he is so important. And he rose heliacally for the first time for you on your 6th house. Importance, of course, on your routine, on health. But I see Mercury's heliacal rise in Scorpio as something benevolent in terms of bringing you truth, showing you true healing, showing you who is your true friend or foe. So in this sense, he can be very good. He can support with information your career, your work, everyday work environment, and so. In the meantime, Venus is on your 6th house, also very supportive for healing. She can bring harmony in your routine environment. And also because Mars is with the Sun on the 7th house, make sure that you are quite diplomatic, harmonious, careful, loving with partner, and also intuitive with partnerships with business partners. In the meantime, Jupiter is quite benevolent, supports money, communication with children, but just when it comes to partnerships, agreements, be a little bit careful and very intuitive there. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if you're looking at the modern tropical astrology, this will be Leo. Now for you, Jupiter is well placed on your 10th house, aspecting your ascendant, forming harmonious trine with all planets in your 6th house. This is good trine, which is supporting your career, your everyday routine environment. In the meantime, these three planets on the sixth house also point that you may need to be a bit more responsible for your health during the month of January. Venus will give blessing on your fifth house, children, artistic work, creative knowledge. So this is quite fine. And a little bit be careful with when it comes to health, but your career, your routine is quite supported from this big trine which Jupiter is forming with all the planets, including visible Mercury on your sixth house. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Virgo. Now the sun right now as we speak is in your fifth house, forming interesting aspect with Mars, also with Mercury. So this is serious emphasis on fifth house. This would say be a little bit more attentive with children, but on the other hand, this particular conjunction will bring you very interesting, maybe muse, drive to creative knowledge, to studies, to talented work. So this is quite fine. Also to make money in very untraditional, let's say, very creative way. So this is quite benevolent. Also, this is a trine towards Jupiter on your ninth house. This is harmonious for your studies, for spiritual knowledge, for following certain philosophy. This is harmonious for travel, long distance travel. In the meantime, because Saturn is still traveling through your seventh house, and he will be for the next year as well, you may need to be a little bit more diplomatic when it comes to relationships in general, in romantic, but also in business senses. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Libra. Now, Mercury is your ascendant ruler, and he rose heliacally for the first time in your third house. Very good for knowledge, for spirituality, for awakening, for a truth that you will discover. Very, very benevolent in this sense. For also for travel, because Venus is also there. So this is quite interesting. Now already Mercury is in Sagittarius, and he will be in Sagittarius, visible until 21st, 22nd of January. Very good when, especially, very interesting, especially because he makes conjunction with Mars, with the sun in your fourth house. Interesting and can bring solution when it comes to what? Home matters like property, relocation, arranging of your home, business at home, communication with parents, all can be used in a very positive way, actually. Also, this particular conjunction of many planets on your fourth house is forming harmonious trine to Jupiter in your eighth house. Again, this is related to truth, to knowledge, to money. Financially, this can be also benevolent for you. In the meantime, Saturn is passing through your seventh house. We don't know how Saturn is placed in your horoscope. So, of course, be responsible for your health and be diplomatic and careful with people who surround you, especially people who surround your routine, like colleagues, subordinates, people who work for you, and so on. And now we look at Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Scorpio. Venus, who rules you, is on your second house, fallen, and Mercury became visible for the first time on your second house. This may bring you financial opportunity, but because of the heliacal rise of Mercury on your second house, but still be a little bit more careful when you make financial decisions, not impulsive. Like you will have the knowledge probably, you will probably have information, you have a chance financially, but still you may need to be a little bit less impulsive, careful, diplomatic when you make, especially when you make financial decisions. In the meantime, Jupiter is trined by Mercury, visible Mars, the Sun, all in your third house. This also can be benevolent when it comes to agreements. Also, Jupiter is very helpful and brings harmony in your relationships. Saturn, Jupiter form sextile, so this is harmonious when it comes to agreements, when it comes to stability in a relationship. So this is quite fine, I believe, for you. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Sagittarius. Now for you, Venus is on your ascendant. This is good, even though in Scorpio, she's not very joyful, so to say. But Mercury also became visible on the 2nd of January, right on your ascendant. Mercury, Venus, visible on your ascendant. This is good. This can give you input, ideas, desire to create something. It can make you very much driven to talented work, to knowledge, to research, to observe. It is very benevolent. Also can be benevolent for your romantic life, because Venus, even though she's fallen in your ascendant, still she can bring peace in your relationship. In the meantime, be a little bit careful when you make financial decisions. Make sure that you're very diplomatic with family members, family roots, family members, and also at home. Be a little bit more loving, diplomatic, careful with parents. Yes. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're looking from the perspective of the modern astrology, this will be Capricorn. Now, as we speak, visible Mercury, Mars, Sun, everyone is right on your ascendant. This is big, load of energy, let's say. And this is creating trine to Jupiter, sextile to Saturn in your 5th and then 3rd houses. This is actually, if you manage to restore the harmony, if you manage to be very wise, patient, spiritual, not impulsive, you can benefit very much for good in terms of lucky finances, communication, negotiations, even travel, studies. This can be benevolent for making money and for good relationship, taking good care of children, because this is creating harmonious aspect to Jupiter in your 5th house. So if you manage to be harmonious with yourself, balanced, if you manage to be very, not impulsive, but very patient, to have control on your emotions, you can actually benefit in January a lot financially. In many fields, you can be very lucky. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn or moon in Capricorn, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Aquarius. Saturn, who rules you, of course, we know this is happening already for a long time, since the beginning of 2023. Saturn is in your 2nd house, but now he participates in big trine, in big sextile. Saturn sextiling Jupiter in your 4th house, and then from your 12th house you have the energy of visible Mercury, Mars, Sun, who sextiles Saturn, then Saturn is sextiling Jupiter. I see that this as something good. Good in financially, yes, but also in terms of 12th house matters. It is what? Helping others, be empathic. Also, this may bring you, this big conjunction in your 12th house can be a little bit disharmonious in terms of health, especially when it comes to chronic issues, but you will be able to heal them. You will be able to have healing. And then Venus is very good on your 11th house, because she also sextiles your ascendant, and it brings harmony, support, protection, healing. Financially also, this is not bad. But how exactly this will manifest in your life financially depends on how Saturn is placed in your natal horoscope. But in any case, he rules your ascendant, so you are familiar with the Saturn in energy. So it shouldn't be actually disharmonious. But Venus helps, Saturn sextile Jupiter. This can be benevolent for communication with parents, the well-being of parents, can be also benevolent for property matters, your own home matters, and so on. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius. And if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Pisces. Now Saturn is on your ascendant. He receives harmonious aspect from all the planets in the 11th house, then harmonious aspect with Jupiter and Uranus in your 3rd house. This is fine, actually. Fine for finances, fine for new projects. Also, this is fine for new knowledge, travel, negotiations, communication. This I see as benevolent placement. Venus on your 10th house is supporting projects, new projects, communication with superiors, restoring peace. So actually, January should be good for you. Yes, of course, to what degree Saturn will be helpful in your ascendant has to be seen certainly in your natal chart, but the placement now of the stars according to your horoscope is certainly not bad. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aries. Now for you, Venus is trining your ascendant. This is protection. This is supporting travel. This is supporting knowledge. Then all these planets on your 10th house are a little bit too much. So be a bit careful, diplomatic, not impulsive when it comes to career, new projects, communication with superiors, but still these planets form trine to Jupiter in your 2nd house. So even though the energy is a little bit too intense, financially it is not bad. Be a little bit responsible for your health, especially when it comes to chronic conditions, but still, again, you have the good aspect of Jupiter. So I believe will be healing if there is also a complaint. So, ladies and gentlemen, briefly, this was for January. I hope you have very good January, and it doesn't look so bad actually astrologically.
Wonderful, great news. That's rare. Thank you so much, Krasi.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for your insights. And soon we'll do February. That was January. Soon we'll do February, I guess. So we'll have you back here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in the live or after that in the recording. Again, if you'd like to contact Krasi, I've put a link below in the description to almost 40% discount for a reading with her for 2024. Thank you, everyone.